Okay, so this is another long number pattern question. I will say this one will be a bit more difficult because at the last part of this question, you are supposed to do some technical stuff to explain, and that technical stuff involves a bit of indices. Okay, so let's just start off with the observing the sequence first. So, okay, what do you do to observe the sequence? You write out your n equal to 1 so that you know how to compare. So you write out. So n is equal to 2. Then how do you compare? N equal to 3. How do you compare? Okay, so if you write it out side by side, it's actually easier to compare. So the next line will be quite easy. So if you just observe what is A5, the next line will be 2 to the power of 5. And if you have observed the pattern, you keep adding a 4. So the next one will be a 17, and that's how you get a 49. Okay, so they are guiding you to be able to see the pattern in this sequence. So for part B, we are going to do it again, but for A8. So you can continue, look at the pattern. So if it's a A8, that means it's 2 to the power of 8. And then the subsequent number, you keep adding a 4, you will actually get a 29. So you just punch your calculator, you will get a 285. So the first two part is meant to guide you into how are you going to write the n term. So again, for the n term here, the first part is just 2 to a power of whatever n is, if you realize by now. So the first part is just n. Then the second part is actually a common difference. So look at the second part. It is a common difference where A is equal to 1 and D is equal to 4. So you execute the common difference formula. So again, you see it as two parts. So you will get 2n plus 4n minus 3. So this is your n term. This is your n term. Okay, the next part is the difficult one. You actually got to do a subtraction. You got to subtract an minus 1. So some students will be thinking, what do you mean by an minus 1? So an minus 1 simply means all the n here is replaced by n minus 1. All the n here will be replaced by n minus 1. So if it's an minus 2, all the n is replaced by n minus 2. So you replace and you try to simplify first. Okay, so once you get your two expression, we will try to subtract them in the hope that I will get this. So this is a very technical thing. So where you got your two expression, you got to try to do a subtraction. So I'm going to subtract this part. It's a very old 10 series question. There quite a long time ago, something similar came out. Okay, so the technical part here is a bit difficult. I'm going to show you in a bit. Okay, so you need to expand out. Make sure you don't have sign error. Okay, while you expand out, okay, you will see that 4n actually cancelled. But you got two indices here. Do you realize here? There are actually two indices. The numbers will be quite easy. The number you will just simplify. So where you successfully subtract you realize that you subtract and you seem to be getting close, but not so close. You realize that you are getting the 4, but how come you got indices minus indices, whereas there's in the question there's only one indices. So this is the trick part. So this one, okay, why do I say it's a bit tricky? Because if you remember the rule here, in your indices rule, we will subtract because it's a divide. So we actually got to think backwards. So this is a divide. So essentially, you are going to divide by 2. So when you divide by 2, you take a careful look. So it's like 2n minus half of this. So it's like 1 of this minus half of this. So you can think of like 1x minus half x. So that gives you half of x. Sorry, I write this part wrongly. It's supposed to be a 4. And then this is the indices. So you got to come to this part before you can show it. So showing it is not very easy, but they didn't give a lot of marks. If you find the showing a bit challenging, okay, I suggest you leave it. Okay, no point spend a lot of time on this. So this part of this number pattern, it will be easier for those who take A math, because for those who take A math, your indices you will be used to working backwards. So it's that if you don't take A math, you find that it's a bit difficult to think backwards in an indices manner. Okay, so don't spend a lot of time if, let's say, you find that it's like this is very difficult for you. So during exam, it won't be a lot of mark for the O-level E-math. So last time when it came out, sometimes it's only 1 mark. So in fact, this is only 1 mark. Okay, because the subsequent part, they still ask you to explain why is it a multiple of 2. So it's quite easy to explain. Okay, this one is base 2, and this is a multiple of 2, or it can be divisible by 2. You can also say that this is also divisible by 2. So since the two numbers are divisible by 2, then the overall will also be divisible by 2. So the explanation is quite easy. So let's say you couldn't get the expression. You can just take the expression and try to explain. Okay, so this one will be, I would say, if you need to spend a lot of time to come out with this for 1 mark, I think don't waste it. But if you think that this one come quite easily for you, then yes, you can go ahead and try. Okay, so first of all, the difficult part is you must know what does an minus 1 mean. If you don't even have an idea of an minus 1, you find that you don't even know what you are subtracting. So that is the technical issue of this question. Other than that, I think part A, part B, part C are quite manageable. Okay. And those are the ones that will be the easy mark for you to earn for this question.